Hey everyone, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got an exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be doing a gel overlay using the Light Elegance jimmygel, their builder in a bottle. Wait till you see these new colors from their brand new Girls Night In collection. I'm going to use a couple of them in this fun design. So I'm going to be showing you step by step on how to do a really nice overlay, a couple extensions as well, and some fun nail art. So go ahead and grab a drink or your favorite snack. Make sure you're subscribed and let's get into it. So this is what we are starting with. My friend has beautiful natural nails, and so we're gonna do a nice overlay, and as you can see, there are a couple that are a little bit shorter than the rest, so I'm just gonna extend those a little bit just so that they match a little bit better with the rest of the nails. Now if we take a look at the shape of her natural nails, she does have a couple that are more of a trapezoid nail shape, so they kind of flare out as they get to the free edge. So I think a nice tapered in rounded shape would be really flattering for her nails and kind of make them not look so wide. If you like that style, like by all means, I just think a more tapered in shape looks better on this type of natural nail. So I've already gone ahead and done my prep around the cuticle area. That is all cleaned up. I do still need to do some nipping, but besides that, the cuticle area is all cleaned up. Now I'm just shaping the nails, and I'm using the Light Elegance Perfect files for this, and I'm using the 180 side just for the free edge. And again, I am tapering them in, rounding them out a little bit just to give it that more slender shape. Now, a common problem that people can have when trying to narrow nails into a more rounded or almond type of shape is you can accidentally cut into the sidewalls. So I want to show you the way I'm filing and how to avoid that. I'm holding my file slightly underneath and at an angle so I have a clear point of view of what I'm filing, and that way I am not over filing into that point of growth where the natural nail starts growing from the sidewall down to the free edge. If I was to hold my file like straight up and down like this and to like dig into that side or that point of growth, that's when you're going to start creating these notches on the side, and you're actually going to be damaging those points of growth, which can be really hard to reverse later. This usually happens again by the way we hold our file, but also if we are trying to make a shape narrower than the anatomy of the nail allows. So unfortunately, we cannot change our nail anatomy. We can only work with what we have. And for some clients, you're not going to be able to get that super tapered shape unless they have quite a bit more length on their nail. Otherwise, you're going to end up cutting into the sides just like this. Now, when using Light Elegance products, prep is very important, and that's because they are HEMA-free, but they also don't use a lot of other cheap monomers that are known for good adhesion, but not the best for natural nail health. So they don't include any of those cheap ingredients in their products, and because of that, you need to be very meticulous with your prep. It's also recommended to use the 100 grit side of your file to prep and etch the natural nail. The 100 grit is the more coarse side, and because of that, you need to make sure and use a very light touch. You do not need to add any pressure. So I'm starting from one side of the nail, working over the nail to the other side, going in the same direction, and then I'm just checking to see if there's any shiny spots left over and getting that if necessary. But I'm not going to be going over the same place on the natural nail over and over and over again because we don't want to over file the natural nail. All we're doing is removing the shine, and we are roughing the surface of the nail plate a little bit just so those products can have a really good grip on the natural nail. So if you have experienced lifting issues with Light Elegance, make sure that your prep is on point and you're using that 100 grit side of your file. You're not going to be using a buffer or the 180 grit side because it'll be too smooth and the product may not properly adhere. So So after I've prepped the nail plate with my file, I'm just going back and I'm nipping off any dead skin. I did this after prepping the nail plate with my file because if I accidentally hit freshly nipped skin with my 100 grit file, it's gonna be a little bit sensitive and it might not feel very good to the client. So I decided to prep the nail plate first and then I would go back and do any nipping. That way I avoid any discomfort. After I do that, I'm just double checking, pushing any skin back just to make sure I have a very meticulous prep and I didn't miss anything. Now it's time to clean the nail plate. I'm using the Ellie Pro cleanser and my favorite, they're lint-free wipes. I love these wipes. I have so many backup packages because I cannot run out. If you use these, you will not have any fuzzies or lint or anything left behind. So these are my holy grail all-time favorite. Before we jump into the application, let's talk about jimmygel really quick and some of its benefits. This is a soak-off builder, so it's more flexible than the hard gels, but not quite as soft as your standard gel polish. So it provides strength similar to a hard gel, but you can still soak it off if that is something that you prefer. It's currently available in 10 different colors and clear. One great thing about it is you can use both hard gel and soak off gel colors on top, so it gives you all of the range and it's not limiting as far as what you can apply over the top of it. You can use jimmygel on its own without a base, or you can use it with tack bonder for maximum adhesion, which is what I'm going to do here in this video. They do have a couple different bonders in the Light Elegance line, so let's go ahead and cover those really quick so that you know what to use for what type of client. First, we have tack, which is what I'm going to use in today's video, and this is the most used bonder. It can be used with most nail types, and you do need to cure it after application. It's a very thin consistency, so you're going to use the little brush that comes in the bottle and scrub it into the nail plate and then give it a cure for 30 seconds. They do have two other bonders. One is Power Bond, which is good for clients with strong or thicker nails. It's more of a thicker consistency as well, and you would cure that also in your lamp. And they also have Air Bond, which air dries, so you don't have to cure it, and it's good for clients that have sweaty hands or hyperhidrosis, clammy skin. So I would use Air Bond personally for that type of skin. Then they also have VitaPrime, which is an acid-based primer, and this is going to be good for problem lifters, and you really only need to use a very small amount, and then you just let it air dry. If you do choose to use VitaPrime, then make sure you use that first before you go in with your bonder of choice. One other cool thing that you can do with jimmygel is you can actually apply a coat of the P+ Cutie base. This is their gel polish base coat. You can use that first underneath of the jimmygel, and it will actually help you soak off the jimmygel faster. So if you are opting to soak off, you may want to start with the Cutie base first so that the removal is a little bit faster. I'm going to be using tack. I'm applying a thin coat on the natural nails and I'm scrubbing it into the natural nail as well with that little brush that comes in the bottle. So you don't need too much, just enough to cover the nail plate. Then when you've done all the nails, you're going to want to go ahead and cure it for 30 seconds in your LED lamp. And this is what we're looking for after the application of tack. You can still see the texture of the nail plate. Now it's time to pick our jimmygel shade that we want to use. They recently came out with quite a few new shades and some sparkly ones that are just beautiful, and my client ended up picking the sparkling rosé, which has a nice shimmer. Now the cool thing about jimmygel is you can use it for an overlay, but you can also use it to do extensions. So since these two nails were a little bit shorter than the rest, I decided to just extend them a tiny bit and make them match. So I'm using the Light Elegance forms, and then I'm going to apply the Jimmy Gel right on the form. I'm using the scissors here, you can see, to make little relief cuts on the side of the form just so that it fits a little bit better. I usually have to do this for most clients, and this just helps get a better fit underneath of the nail and also a little bit more of a narrower shape. So I do that on both of the nails that need to be extended, and then I take the Jimmy Gel and I apply it right towards the free edge, and I drag it from one side to the other side, and there is a new little free edge. And you can use your detailer brush. I'm using the stripey brush from Light Elegance just to drag the product a little bit to where I need it to go and get it a little bit more precise with the application. So once I'm happy with it, I went ahead and cured that in my lamp. And for Jimmy Gel, it is a 1 minute cure time. So then I'm just going to repeat these steps again on to the next nail. So for the application, I'm going to polish on a thin layer of the Jimmy Gel over the entire nail, and this is what we're going to call a slip layer. So the slip layer we do not cure. It's meant to be slippery so that the rest of your product can self-level over the rest of the nail. So I'm going to apply that slip layer, then I'm going to use the droplet technique. So I'm going to drop a bead of gel onto the nail where kind of about where the apex would be, kind of in the middle of the nail, maybe a little bit back behind the center. And I'm going to use the brush to help push that product where I need it to go. And that slip layer is going to help self-level the gel over the entire nail to create a smooth surface. And if you need to, you can grab that stripey brush to maneuver the product around a little bit so that you get a really nice smooth application. And you can also flip the nail upside down as well to use gravity to help you out. Once you're happy with the way the nail looks, then go ahead and put it in the lamp for the 60 seconds. And I do one nail at a time, working from one hand to the other hand, back and forth until all the nails are done. And I'm going to use the same overlay technique over the nails that I added the extension to. So I'm going to treat it just like as if it was one of the natural nails. I just love this sparkling rosé color. The shimmer is so beautiful. Honestly, you could leave this just on the natural nail by itself. Like, you don't have to add any color to it and it would be beautiful. This formula is so easy to apply. Honestly, I would not need to do much, if any, finish filing, but I will because of the two nails that I added extensions to. Those definitely need to be shaped up a bit, but you can see how nice this product laid on the nail. It's so gorgeous. So I did cleanse all of the nails because we're going to do a little bit of filing. The ones that I didn't add an extension to, I really don't need to do that much. Since I am going to be filing the ones with extensions, I did go ahead and just shape up the other ones just a bit if necessary, just to make them absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to use just a buffer over the top because they don't really need that much. The application is pretty spot on. As for the ones with the extensions, I am going to shorten them, make sure that they match up with the rest of the nails. and then surface file them a little bit. I'm using the 180 side now of the perfect files, and I'm just going to smooth out any imperfections and make sure that the bulk of the product is focused towards the center of the nail where the apex would be. A lot of times if your nails look wider, it's usually because there's excess product right on the sides of the nail, which kind of causes it to look more like a pancake type of a shape. So you want to kind of smooth those down a little bit if your nails are looking wide. I loved the shape of these extensions. I did end up having to shorten them a little bit more just because they were a little bit longer than the rest of the nails, but man, I loved the way they looked at this length. So after I do any filing, I switch to the foamy buffer and just go over all the nails just to smooth them out and make sure that the surface is perfect. Always make sure and check the nails from your client's point of view. So turn their hand around so that you can see the way that they would see their nails, because a lot of times what we see may look a little bit different or off from their point of view. So you can make any corrections from that angle as well. Now it's time for some nail art and for some color. We have the new Girls Night In collection, which has 6 new colors and 6 new glitters. So I had to use some of them, of course. And this super flamin' hot red, literally it's called flamin' hot after the flamin' hot Cheetos. It is so beautiful and bright. I am like instantly attracted to this color. I love bright colors. I even have it on my own nails right now. You can actually see the reel that I did on my Instagram or on TikTok of these really fun watermelon nails that I did using this color. I am just in love with this color. I had to use it again. So I applied this shade on the pinky nails and the thumbs just for a full coverage color, and it's so pigmented. I did 2 coats, but even 1 coat is really good for coverage. Now I'm adding the shade Couch Couture on the pointer nails. It's a nice light pink with a shimmer in it, like a kind of metallic pearlescent shimmer. Then I'm going in and adding this really fun squiggly looking French, not a perfect French, with this baby blue called Chick Flick and Chill. I think this blue and the spicy flamin' hot red go together so nice. I like instantly put those two together and I just thought it was a really fun combination. So I'm adding the French on the 2 middle nails. Then we're going to go ahead and add some cherries using Flamin' Hot, and I'm going to paint on some bows on the ring finger as well. These new colors come in both the P+ gel polish formula as well as the buttercream potted formula. And I love using the buttercreams for nail art, especially because you can get more of a precision line. So I kind of switch back and forth using both in this set. And the nice thing about using jimmygel as our base is that we can use both hard gel and soak off gel on top. For the cherry stems, I mixed up a little bit of the green gel paint, I think it's neon green, plus a little bit of the black just to get a little bit of a darker green for the stem color, and that worked really nicely. This new bright pink is called Drama Queens, and I'm using that to paint on some more bows. Bows and cherries are so in right now. I think they're so cute. So I'm adding a little bit of daisies with some white gel paint, and a little bit of the color Laffy Taffy. That's from a previous collection, but it's a nice pastel yellow. So I just put that in between the daisies. Now it's time to top coat. I'm using the Light Elegance Super Shiny Top Coat. This is my go-to hard gel top coat because you get zero staining. Hairstylists could wear white nails That's what I mean by zero staining. And it stays really nice and shiny. And it also has a great consistency so that you can use it to self-level over nail art. If you don't want your nails to be bumpy, it can kind of fill in any little imperfections like that. So I've been using Super Shiny for many, many years. It is one of my staple products. If you're noticing that your Super Shiny looks a little bit cloudy afterwards, I do recommend waiting about a minute, about 60 seconds, before you cleanse the sticky layer. So this is not a no wipe top coat, and I find if you let it cool just for about a minute, then you go ahead and cleanse it, it's gonna be extra shiny. That is a tip that I've learned over the years. If you need to refine any edges here, I'm just using the 180 grit file just to make any little minor refinements. And then it's time to rehydrate with some cuticle oil. For this, because this has a brush application, I'm just putting that brush onto the nail and not actually the skin, just to keep it a little bit more sanitary. The nail is super clean, it's fresh out of the lamp. So place the brush onto the nail and then you can use your finger to rub it into the skin. And here we have the finished look. I think it looks so fun. It's literally snowing outside my window right now and I'm over it. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for summer. Bring on all of the fun, bright colors. You can pick up jimmygel or this new collection at lightelegance.com. They actually gave me a discount code to share with you guys, so you can use the code Katie15 for 15% off if you want to try out some Light Elegance product. As always, Light Elegance is HEMA-free, 9-free, vegan, and cruelty-free. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like to let me and YouTube know that you enjoyed it and want to see more videos like this. I know you don't want to miss any future videos, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later.